Good morning, welcome back to Coffee Break. We have another special episode of A Day in the Life today.
And we have a very special guest with us. This is Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen.
Kathleen, you work for Eerdmans.
Yes, I do.
What is your job here?
I am the managing editor for EBYR.
Which is like probably the coolest publishing job.
It's pretty sweet.
It's what everyone wants to be when they want to be in publishing.
How could you not
very
want
true.
to be it? Yes.
So is it true that you get to read all day?
Yes and no. I get to read a lot of emails all day, as well as books, which may not be exactly what everyone has in mind. But I do a lot of reading all day, yeah.
That's exciting. So what does a typical day for you look like?
It can be a whole range of things, just depending on what each book needs. I'm working on books in all different stages, so everything from looking at submissions that we're going to take on, to working on contracts, to working on a book with authors, all the way to working with our marketing team to make sure they know everything that's coming up.
So what's your favorite thing about the job?
I love the variety, and I also love being able to see a book from the very, very first stages to when it comes in the warehouse and it's finally like all bound and beautiful, and you get to see the finished project. That's
You're
really
like,
exciting.
I helped make that.
I did. The first time we actually got a book in the warehouse that I had worked on, it was just like I wanted to just like rush out and tell everyone like I worked on this.
And now someone will I'll be at a bookstore with a friend and they'll see one of our books and they'll be like, oh cool, you published that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been looking at this for the last 6 months,
Oh, I still get really
You
proud
get
when I see,
I do I do like to see oh look, it's face out, that's exciting. But
or you just suddenly put it face out.
yeah, just wait until no one's looking and then
Yeah, it's still a rush for me when I see our books in stores.
What was the first book that you had a hand in here?
The first book I remember getting in the warehouse that I worked on was Ruth Sanderson's Combined Saints volume.
And that's a really lovely book.
Yeah. The art in that is beautiful. And I learned so much editing it, and that's another thing I love about my job too, is you learn the craziest, most random things because you're dealing with books that tackle all different sorts of things.
Yeah.
I'm now an expert on red pandas and the Silk Road.
So what did your career path look like?
I studied English, and I did an internship in publishing, and also worked for an academic journal in college. And then I started at Eerdmans right out of college as the editorial assistant.
Cool.
So yeah, I've been here since college, and I love it.
Is there anything about your job that you think people would find surprising?
One of the things that is often surprising to people is how long it takes a book to get published.
That's true.
I'm working on projects that are probably going to be published in 2019, 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty fair, right?
Yeah.
So we're always working pretty far out, and it takes a long time to get a book illustrated and to get all the pieces in place.
Do you have any advice for people who aspire to be editors?
Sure. I would say start by finding out as much as you could about the publishing industry. Read the different magazines and all the information you can find, research different publishers, and if you can do an internship, that's great. Any way that you can kind of get into the business. You did the Publishing Institute out in Denver.
Yeah, that was
a great
super
experience.
helpful. Yeah, because they took everyone from every department, right? So even finance and production and things people don't traditionally think of. They mostly think of editing, marketing, and sales. And yeah, that was really helpful to see.
So it's a
all the
really good
different-
comprehensive introduction to the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just getting to know someone in the industry and finding out what you can from them.
What questions should we have asked you but didn't?
You didn't ask me what I'm excited about right now.
What are you excited about right now, Kathleen?
We just got the advanced reading copies for a novel that we have coming out.
Yeah. Should I grab one?
Yes.
Okay.
So we just got the advanced reading copies for A Dog Like Stanton, and the illustrations are just darling, adorable. They're
Really
really
nice.
cute, and it's such a sweet story.
Yeah.
And I'm working on the sequel right now, which is awesome.
So extra
I think
fun.
the sequel might even be better than the first one.
Wow. That's rare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, but it's a good one.
Yeah, they're sweet books about a big fluffy white dog. I mean, like, I don't know what is not to like about these books.
And, you know, at least Catherine, I don't know if this is a department thing, has a rule about books about dogs. Don't worry.
The dog doesn't die.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
And I
give
don't
you
think
that.
that's really a spoiler to say that either.
No.
Well, if he's got a sequel, right? He's
It's
definitely
true.
like he's definitely gonna make it to the end of the book. Yeah. I hate the books where the pet dies. Like, oh god, just right in the feels. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kathleen. This
Thank
was
you
awesome.
guys.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Writing children's books is easier than writing for the adult market because the books are shorter.
No.
It just means that every word is worth more, so you have to do even more boiling down.
Yeah, I think picture books are very economical in their writing. Like, you don't have a wasted word.